All right, it is Monday. We are in the final stretch before our winter break, and I am here with none other than Whoopi Goldberg for the third time this year. That's amazing. Hello, Whoopi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm eating a cookie.
Well, whatever gets you to the podcast makes me happy. That's fine. If it takes cookie time, I'm happy with it. All right, so the last time you were here, it was your birthday, which was amazing, and you were just about to head off to Italy to star in an Italian soap opera.
Yes.
How did it go?
It went well, I think. I had a good time. My Italian is not flawless, but my attitude is good. So
now you mentioned at the time it rained a lot, which I know was a bummer.
It rained every day. You couldn't even see Capri from where we were. We were
really?
In Naples. It was just
cloudy and rainy.
Fogged in and rainy and I was like, really?
Despite that, you came back in a really good mood. I saw people online mentioning it too. That like Whoopi seems like rested, good to go, happy.
Yeah.
So is it just acting recharges you? Is that what it is, or
probably? I think if I stay away from it too long, I get cranky.
Mm-hmm. Is there ever going to be a chance for people in America to see these? Is it going to be on YouTube? Is it going to be any place they can watch? I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can get ABC, Disney to show it for a month.
That'd be great. One thing you talked to me about was that you didn't realize really how hard people work on these soap operas.
These soap people, I have to tell you, I take my hat off to them. And what it showed me is it's a great training ground for actors because you really have to be on top of your stuff, and you're doing 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 different episodes in any given day.
Right.
So it's you're feeling 9 million things, every time you change your clothes, because it's, it's from this episode here and this goes in here, and it's really amazing. I mean, soap actors, they're fantastic. I miss the soaps.
Yeah, there's still a few left, but it's not like it used to be. No. And we'll see what happens. They actually started one last year. It's a black soap opera
on CBS.
On CBS called Beyond the Gates. And people seem to like that a lot too. So maybe they'll come back.
Maybe you have to start one called Beyond the Table.
Beyond the Table. Beyond the Table. Why?
Yes.
See, I should have checked with you before I named this. But then we wouldn't get all someone's behind is on the table today.
That's right.
Something else also happened the last time you were on with us on the podcast, and it surprised a lot of people. You mentioned we talked about bucket lists, and you mentioned the idea that you were interested in maybe someday representing our country, maybe as an ambassador, maybe as a part of, going to Italy, who knows? I think we were pretty much in agreement it's not going to happen with this administration, but
no.
Tell me more about that, because people had questions. What
kind of questions did they have?
What makes you want to do that? What is the idea behind it?
Well, now, because I think you need a counterbalance that isn't... that hasn't forgotten what the promise of America is. Listen, we are not the perfect country, but we're pretty damn good. But the idea that people don't know that they are actually still welcomed here, that they don't know that not everybody feels this way. He's on a giant scale and he's saying stuff, and I want somebody to counter it. I want someone to get out there and say, you know what? No, they're not a perfect country, but you can do a lot more in that country and fulfill your dreams than you can almost anywhere else.
Well, it's something, I think one of the reasons people were surprised by it is because we spend a lot of time on this show talking about what's wrong, and naturally so. That's part of our jobs here, I think. But I think because of that, people don't always realize how proud you are of this country.
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't remember that we do talk about the great things that go on. But if your news cycle is inundated by ridiculousness, which I sort of feel we are inundated with on a day, all the time, it's hard to get the word out. It's hard for people to hear what's good.
Right.
The fact that people, all these wonderful folks who have been in the middle of trying to figure out what to do about libraries in their various towns. People have gone out and created libraries in their homes and said, here are the books you can get at my house. And if you want to read this book, here it is. You have the access. People have gone out and begun to buy things for kids around their towns to make up for deficits that other people may be having. You know, people in America, I know what kind of country we are because I know what Billy and Robin and I did with Comic Relief.
Yeah.
And I saw the amazing things that this country
people
can
going
do.
into their pockets to help people.
People going in to help each other.
Yeah. And I think the idea of you representing the country in that way is a good one, especially because in many ways you're the American dream. I mean, like when you think about where you started and where you are and what you've accomplished, and it's not bad to remind the rest of the world that.
Well, I think sometimes, you know, people forget, you know, they get into their politics and they get into their race stuff. And it's like, listen, it is what it is. I'm here because I worked my butt off and I live in a country that allowed it to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talk about the news cycle, and today was a very heavy day, and it was hard to do. We talked about these tragic shootings, and then over the weekend, Rob and Michelle Reiner passed away.
No, they didn't pass away.
No, you're right.
They were murdered.
They were murdered. You were in The Ghost of Mississippi, directed by Rob. I've seen that movie. It's a great movie, actually. Yeah. It's kind of a forgotten one a little bit, and it's a great movie. Tell me about your memories of working with him in that film.
Well, I couldn't believe he wanted to work with me. And I was like, oh, yeah, I really want to do this. Because I loved Myrlie Evers, and I wanted to try and represent everything that she was to her family, to the country, and also the fact that she fought to make sure that the man who murdered her husband went to jail and stayed in jail, did not get out. He wasn't let out. He stayed. Byron D. LeBeckworth was his name.
Oh, wow.
And played by the fabulous James Woods.
Which, you know, I want to stop because we were talking about it in the meeting today.
Yeah.
And you talk about politics getting in the way of things and stuff like that. James Woods, famously, very different politics than you and many people in the country. Yeah. You're friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because I disagree with somebody or I don't understand their politics, doesn't mean that I'm never going to talk to them.
No.
Doesn't mean I'm not going to try and understand where they're coming from. Because maybe you're going to tell me something I don't know. In this particular case, it's probably not, you know.
Right.
But Jimmy Woods and I have been friends for a while, and I loved him. I loved his mom. He's a brilliant actor.
He's a great actor.
He's a great actor. And, you know, I don't have to talk politics with him.
Right.
We can just talk movies.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Do you have a favorite Rob Reiner movie? Is there one that comes to mind?
Well, I really love Spinal Tap.
Oh, of course.
You know.
Spinal Tap's great. Yeah. I think A Few Good Men for me is just one of my absolute favorite movies, and Princess Bride. And When Harry Met Sally. It's really an incredible run.
He's got a huge, long list of films.
Yeah, it's really, I'm definitely going to watch a couple of them this week for sure.
And also, Brian, I do want to say, you know, sometimes when we get passionate on the show, people don't understand that we say, hey, by the way, I made a mistake.
Yeah, oh, you did that today. Yeah,
I did that today because I want people to recognize that it's okay to say, you know what, I was wrong about that.
Right.
You know.
No, it's always, I have to say, as the executive producer, there have been times where I've said, oh, we have to fix something. More often than not, especially with you tell me I want to fix something. Yeah. Even if I say, no, it's okay, people understand what you were saying or something like that, you'll go back and say.
No, because it's important. It's important that people know I am thinking and not just talking.
Right. And especially when you get passionate, of course, you're sometimes you have to get stuff out and things get jumbled.
Well, at least I did not cuss up a storm.
No, and I appreciated that. And I'm not going to lie.
I thought you would.
I was nervous about that.
I know you were.
But I appreciate you not doing that.
You were.
I've often thought it'd be a good idea to have my blood pressure on the bottom of the screen, like a lower third, that just.
Yeah, but you know, the terrible kid in me would just make it go up and down just to watch it happen.
Yes, you would.
Because I'm a terrible child.
Me too. All right, going back to you.
Yeah.
We often have celebrities on the show that are beyond excited to meet you because you've been an inspiration to a lot of people. And I've heard you give advice to a lot of people about how they need to save their money. What else do you tell people that are trying to make it in this industry? You were just talking to Noah Schapp, our guest today. What do you try to give to people that are kind of here and look up to you? What kind of advice do you give?
I try really not to give very much at all, but
they look to you for it, though. I see it. They ask you, "What can you tell me? What can I do?"
But it's so it's because not all careers are the same. But the thing that I think I often want to say to people is just pick your battles.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your battles. You're gonna run into a lot of stuff in our business that doesn't make sense to you. And there's so many different things that you could be mad all the time. But it's sort of easier if you just decide what is it I need to do? What do I need to do? And make sure you're doing what you need to do. And, they don't tell you, because in school they don't say, hey, because you always think you're going to get a bag of money. You don't realize you got to pay your agents, you got to pay your taxes, you got to pay your lawyer, you got to pay all this.
The faster it goes in, the faster it goes out.
Yeah. And you think you got this much money, you may not.
That's
so
right.
Always check. And if you're not good at math, find somebody who is.
Sarah Sherman was here from Saturday Night Live last week, and you had a little moment on the show with her where you told her not to doubt herself.
Yeah.
And was there ever a moment in your career where you doubted yourself? Because for me, and not to compare our careers in any way, but at least twice in my career, I almost gave up. I was out of work for a little bit. I didn't know what was going to come next. And I was like, all right, I got to get a different kind of job, do a real thing. Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, quite a bit. But who could afford not to work?
Right.
So you got to go out and do it.
Was there anyone, anybody gave you the confidence to kind of keep going the way you're telling people?
The tax man. The tax man.
That'll do it. Yeah.
You look and you think, on this show it's happened a couple of times where you think, why am I putting myself in this position on a daily basis?
Because Brian's daughters need to go to college.
Yes.
That's why.
And because we have, Barbara Walters gave me this job because I really needed a job at the time. But she also gave me something else that I've only come to recognize in the last few years. And that is she wanted to make sure that I didn't stop understanding that our opinions are our opinions and they evolve and they grow. And sometimes they're very harsh here and sometimes they're very light here. And
perspectives change.
Yeah, your perspective changes. What you learn changes. Everything changes in life, and sometimes things stay the same, but you don't. So the fact that she believed that I would be an asset, in spite of what people like to write. I used to read what folks wrote. I don't read what they write anymore.
There's some good things too. It's not all bad.
Well, I'm glad, but I am aware of the bad because we're in different times, and so you don't seem to be able to stumble and get up. It's like you stumble and everybody's on you.
Everybody's up, but it's because people care. That's the thing, and the truth is, when you stumble and nobody cares, it's a bigger problem.
Yes, you fall in the woods, nobody knows.
Exactly. I also know that, and you've talked about this, and I've read your book, that your mom instilled a lot of confidence in you at a very young age.
Yeah.
What kind of impact did that have? I mean, you always strike me as incredibly self-assured.
Well, I also have an Oscar, so
yeah.
that ought to tell
All right,
you.
so you're faking it. There we go.
Sometimes you have to because you can't. There's no time to go into it,
right.
But and you don't want to bring people down.
No.
Well, sometimes you want to bring people down, but I don't always want to do it because it takes too much time.
Mm-hmm. And for the record, not just an Oscar, a couple other things too. I believe it's an EGOT. Speaking of wonderful things that have been awarded to you, you recently got a second great-grandchild. How about that?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
Lotus
you.
Dean. We announced on the show.
Yes.
How does it feel to have 2 great-grandchildren?
Very weird.
That's rarefied air. Not everyone gets to that.
No,
That's pretty great.
But I realized my mom had 3 great-grandchildren.
Oh, how about that?
You know, and as I was saying to my grandson, dude, really? He's like, well, you know, it's kind of like Granny. I was like, oh, yeah, it was. Because my mom had all of her grandchildren, had great-grandchildren into their, and the youngest was 19, I think, when she passed.
Wow.
So they had her all of their lives.
That's wonderful.
What
a great thing.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to know my great-grandmothers, but they passed when I was about 10 or 12 or something like that. But I feel lucky that I got to. And
yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And how's Lotus doing?
Lotus is just evolving.
Okay.
The strangest thing about all of it is that watching Charlie Rose, you know, 11
Your first
years
great-grandchild.
ago, right, and watching the evolutionary jump to this one is stunning because she can hold her own head up. You know,
Oh, wow.
she's
I still have
doing
trouble
her
with mine,
thing.
to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
me too.
Yeah.
But, you know, she can follow you and she follows you with her eyes. And I don't think she can see clearly, but she's aware. She's very aware.
I was telling Alyssa this because, maybe it's changed, but when I had my daughters, there was a big emphasis on tummy time. The idea that you have to put them on their stomach and they have to lift their head up and move around.
Right.
And my kid had no neck strength whatsoever.
Right.
At all. Literally would just bang her head on the ground every single time. And
you know the baby was not laying on the ground.
I'm telling you,
She was not laying on the ground.
like that every time.
I got you covered.
Right.
I know you didn't put the baby on the ground.
She may or may not be in the control room right now, but it happened. But the thing you don't realize at the time is eventually there's no one's walking around like this. Eventually they all fix it.
They
It's
all
fine.
do it.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, when I was a baby, apparently we just laid there.
Yeah, and you were okay.
And, you know, I'm not saying I don't just lay there now, but when I was a baby, you know, babies now, they want to do stuff. I mean, they move around. They look like they're getting up to go, to go to the next room and watch something on television. It's wacky and yet so kind of wonderful. And to see my grandson look at his daughter with that look, it just brings tears to the eyes.
I know family is the most important thing to you. I mean, does it make you think about legacy to have great-grandchildren and think like that? Not that you're going anywhere, but I mean just...
No, but eventually I am going to go somewhere, you know, and that is the bitch about being human. You don't know when and you don't know where. And
but it's got to be reassuring to know that you have all these people that you're responsible for. It's a nice thing.
You know what? This is the truth, and people don't really like hearing it. But there will come a time when they don't remember. You know?
I think you'll go longer than most. It's a nice thing.
Maybe. But it is nice to know that there are decent people that I've helped to shepherd into the world.
Absolutely.
You know?
Speaking of family and holidays and things like that, what are holidays at Whoopi's like? I know you're traveling a little bit.
Maybe. They're usually, you know, the house is decorated within an inch of its life. You can't find anywhere to sit down.
Been lucky enough to be at the Whoopi house at Christmas once or twice, and it is something.
I love the holidays because my mother made the magical. She made the magical, and I wanted to make sure I made the magical for my daughter. And I just listened to my daughter tell her daughter, who said, you know, this is really, you did, because she's got a whole thing going on now at her house.
Oh, does she really?
And she said, well, you know, my mother taught me everything I needed to know about what a good holiday looks like. And she said, and my granddaughter said, and you taught us. And my daughter said, I did. And she said, yeah. And I thought, yeah, you do. That's how it works. You hand it over.
What is on Whoopi's Christmas list? What are we looking at? I mean, we were talking about this on the show today.
Yeah. What is on my Christmas list? I really wish for the world. I just wish for the world to have some breathing space.
Be nice. Give us a couple weeks.
Give us a couple of weeks of just where we don't have to like deal with all of the hazarai constantly every second. Unfortunately I stopped watching television for these weeks because I just need a break from it.
Sure.
I need a break from it, and it's a lot to carry. And I think people around the world are carrying so much that it would just be nice to have 5 days of just like family, just you and the family.
That would be
or you
wonderful.
And your friends. And if you're someone who doesn't have family time, go find your friends and spend some time with them. Treat yourself really, really well this holiday season. Do something for yourself. It doesn't have to cost anything. Maybe you just always wanted to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, or maybe you wanted to, walk across the San Francisco Bridge, or maybe you just wanted 2 hours to sit outside and listen to a good book. Do that for yourself in these upcoming 2 weeks.
That sounds like a good plan. I know another great thing happening. It's the first anniversary of your sports network.
Yes.
How about that? AWSN.
Yes, the All Women Sports Network.
Why was it important for you to get involved in this? I think people were surprised when you announced this.
Well, I think people are always surprised because I don't really talk about a lot of stuff with myself, about myself. And so this is something I tried to do for about 16, 17 years because I just felt that, women around the world are doing amazing things. They're pole vaulters, they're basketball players, there's hockey players, there's, basketball players all over the world who are doing amazing things in sports. And I always felt it was a shame that we never got to see it. And so I always thought that if we could put together an all-women sports network, which is not a put down of the man, but just to highlight the great things that we're seeing worldwide. And so I talked to people, and people patted me on the head and said, nobody wants to see women's sports for years. And then my business manager said, I think I know somebody who might like this idea. And so I spoke to him, and he said, yes, I have a network, and it's worldwide, and we can do it. And so for this last year, we have been, we are on Amazon Prime. We're on DirecTV. We're all over the place, and we're on some places for free.
That's amazing.
So you can see, you can go to the various networks. If you look up AWSN, All Women Sports Network, you'll find out all the times and places that we're on, here in the United States and around the world, and all the different sports we have, which is great. Women playing football is remarkable.
Well, we have streaming. You can watch it on streaming devices, Roku and Amazon Fire TV, and we're going to add a link in our episode description so people can find it there too, which is good. Or you can go to awsn.tv.
Yeah.
All right. We have a really great week of shows this week before we go on vacation.
Okay.
Just to give a little preview, tomorrow we have Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
My Star Wars Rey Skywalker. Wednesday, we have Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman from the movie Song Sung Blue, which you've been raving about.
It's spectacular.
Anna Navarro saw it too and echoed your raves. Yeah. And then Thursday, we have Mandy Patinkin and Patti LuPone together. These are legends, which is fantastic.
Am I on?
You are on with them.
I'm so excited.
That's going to be great.
I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I tried. All right. And then Friday is our big holiday show. Always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have a performance from New Edition, which is awesome.
Which I love.
And the Coast holiday favorite things, also always a crowd pleaser.
Well, I have to tell you, I went to a concert over the weekend.
Yes, you did.
War and Treaty. Do you know them?
I do. I know them from our Sister Act connection, of course.
They are spectacular. I don't know how far reaching this mic is, but look up War and Treaty and do yourself a favor and go see their show. They opened for Sam Smith this last
also
weekend.
amazing. So
Also amazing. And they were spectacular. There's great stuff happening in these upcoming days.
Plenty of things to be happy about. All right, there we go. On that note, that's a good one. Thank you for joining me today, Whoopi. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
Hope to see you again soon. And
I don't know.
oh, come on. We're doing good. Well, I'm going to work on it. And then tomorrow, I'm back with not just Joy, but Sunny as well here in the podcast. We'll see you then.